So this morning I wanted to talk about the materials that I used, just in case anyone was interested in specifically what I have. My sketchbook is actually pretty big, right? I actually order my sketchbook from Etsy, and Etsy is a website where people can sell handmade items. So the Etsy store that sells this sketchbook is called the Delicate Utility. It's a little bit more expensive. The sketchbook is actually like $90. However, it is of a substantial size. So I found that I actually save money by buying the bigger sketchbook instead of continuously buying smaller ones that don't have as much paper. In this particular sketchbook, the paper is a really good quality and there's a lot of it. So that's where I order my sketchbook from, and I probably go through about 3 of these a year. But again, the paper quality is really good. It's handmade, and it's the best sketchbook that I've found that I like to use. Um, and I also have for my sketchbook a bandolier. I also got this from Etsy. Just because my sketchbook is a little bit bigger and I tend to shove a bunch of paper and other stuff in it, to keep it closed, I use this, and I can keep some extra pens and pencils in it just for backup. So that's my bandolier. So for a regular pencil drawing like this, just straight graphite, I would use, I have a couple mechanical pencils. This one is my favorite. It was probably about $10. I actually got this in an art store in Annapolis years and years and years ago. I believe it's 0.05 millimeters is the lead size, and I use HB lead. And what that means is the lead is anywhere from like 6H to 6B, and H is a harder and lighter line, and B is a softer and darker line. So 6H would be very light and soft, and 6B would be very dark. So HB is just a good sort of general all-purpose lead to use. So I would start with that, and then I would probably use a 2B pencil, like one of these for the darker areas. And then I use just smudge sticks to even it out. And you can get the smudge sticks anywhere. Here's what the pack from Michael's looks like. I live in a really small town, so we don't have an art store per se. We have a Michael's. So I either get supplies online or from Michael's. So that's what that looks like. And then if I'm doing, a more colorful drawing like this, I have sort of a myriad of pens and markers. I like to use Copic markers. They're really high quality. They're a little bit more expensive. They're anywhere from like $6 to $10 a marker. But again, they are really high quality. My favorite pen is Micron, and I usually use 005 or 01. But again, they come in a bunch of different sizes and colors. And then the rest of these I've just sort of picked up, all different places, anywhere from like 7-Eleven to a really high-end art store. And it just depends on which one I want to use or what color or what I like using. If I get a bunch of pens for my birthday, I'll probably use those for, a while and stuff until they run out. It just depends on what I'm drawing, what pen I would use. And then if I do something in watercolor, like say this Yoda, right? I literally have just this little Winsor Newton watercolor kit that I've probably had for 15 years. It's not anything super fancy, but the color bricks can be replaced if they run out, right? I'm sure you can order those online. I have a bunch of backup ones just in case. So that's what I use for the watercolors. And then the brushes that I use for that are basically, if I'm at an art store, I'll pick up a couple extra brushes just to see which ones I like and which ones seem to work really well. So there's not really a specific brush that I use, but I have a bunch just to have on hand. So that's about it. Hopefully that was helpful. And if there are any questions, let me know. Thanks.